Welcome to the Walking Dead reviews on What the Flick. This is Tim Frisch, and I'm Kim Horcher, and today we're talking about The Other Side, episode 14 of this season. So there's a suicide mission going on, which I for sure think will not result in success because of the meta of the show personally, but also that I don't see Negan getting taken down in this matter. The big bad doesn't get taken down by one person who's not a main character on their own.
Which every other character already knows.
Yeah,
they've been spending this whole season trying to gather forces, gather people, gather guns, gather support. And Sasha and Rosita want to do it all by themselves.
Specifically, Sasha wants to do it by herself.
I was going to say specifically Rosita.
Well, Rosita can't now. She's trapped outside.
Oh, now Sasha wants to do it by herself.
Yeah, yes, now she does.
Via a bike lock.
I actually had to rewatch that again because I thought Sasha chained Rosita in and ran away, abandoning her. And I thought, wait, that makes no sense. But what does make sense is Sonequa Martin Green will be one of the stars of Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, interesting.
So what does that hint to you? Anyway, this did give us some interesting character development on Rosita. I didn't know about her at all, but it seems like she's like the Kirby or Rogue of boyfriends, absorbing their skills to help her survive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fun little backstory for her. And the show has been trying to convince me that she's a complicated character for a long time now. And all of her, I don't know, it comes off as whining when you don't know like what her deal is. And I was never really fully convinced at the relationship between her and Abraham, and even the relationship between Sasha and Abraham.
Yeah, that was all a little weird and chemistry-less to me.
Yeah, like both of these girls seem willing to die for this idealized version of this man that they both loved, but like I never really saw that love when he was alive. Like Rosita asked Sasha, like, were you happy? Were you happy with Abraham? And she says yes, and that like brings it to
Remember when we first saw like the ideas of Sasha Abraham, and we're like, what is this?
Yeah, and
where did this come from?
And Sasha was like, what is this? Where is this coming from? She turns him away for like a season and a half, and then like I guess he finally breaks her down, but like then he immediately dies. She never has a chance to like reciprocate that love. And I feel as though she's built it up in her head way bigger than we ever saw.
As people often do with their exes.
Yeah,
yes?
Maybe that's true to life.
Maybe. Elsewhere though, we finally see Maggie again and Mayor McJerkface making changes around, is it Alexandra?
Hilltop.
Hilltop. Yeah, I know that didn't sound right. So just counting down until his final days.
Yeah, so Maggie is training forces, they're building weapons. She seems to be running the Hilltop right under Gregory's nose, which he notices and wants to put the kibosh on. He wants to separate them in their location, take them out of Jesus's trailer. And then the Saviors plan have a surprising visit.
Yep.
Unannounced.
And we get to see Trevor/Simon again.
Yep. And they're here for the doctor.
Yeah, so I thought they thought Eugene was a doctor.
Yeah, no, I think I was reading some comments.
Realize he's not a doctor?
I guess he said we have another Dr. Carson. And because those two doctors are brothers in different places. So we saw the one Dr. Carson get killed. Now we see the other Dr. Carson get brought up into the big leagues.
Speaking of Eugene, it seems he does not have an ulterior plan being there. Like he is actually
so here's the thing,
turncoat, or do you think he's going deep into this and just not telling his friends what he's doing?
Right, so those are the two options. One is he finally found a place in the world where people respect him and need him, and this whole male-driven fantasy that's going on in the sanctuary is a place where he can actually thrive, and people will listen to him and respect him, and they give him a walkie-talkie, and he likes that. Or, as the last 5 seasons have led us to believe, he has moved past his cowardice. He has found a family with Rick and the Alexandrians and wants to do right by them and is using this opportunity to be a double agent for them in the sanctuary.
But wouldn't he like make some kind of indication like I've got greater plans, I got this? No, instead he just cowers and cries and says, no, I didn't ask you to do this.
Yeah.
And runs away like a scared rat.
Unless that's just the writers trying to fool with us for another half season. I don't know.
How do you feel about the writers constantly fooling with us for another half season?
I mean, it's their favorite thing to do.
It is. I don't know if it's
sticking around for I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like something that's wearing or worn out its welcome. Because it's just, if you use the same trick over and over, it just stops. There's diminishing returns eventually.
So this was a very talky episode, and I think that the scene that we got with Sasha and Rosita, where we learn Rosita's backstory, was a compelling and interesting one. And the little scene with Maggie and Daryl hiding in the basement, where Daryl sort of confesses that like he feels so bad for Glenn, like he puts all the weight of Glenn's death on him, and maybe rightfully so, but Maggie forgives him. It's not your fault. They have this touching moment.
That was a good moment. I mean, I think he sort of became the mouthpiece for a lot of people like us who watch the show, and we're like, this is Daryl's fault. If he hadn't acted, all rough and out of turn, Glenn would still be alive. And when you hear him say, I'm sorry, I do take this onus, I think the automatic thing to realize is it's not really his fault. He couldn't have known the circumstances here. And like Maggie said, he's one of the good ones. He's there to do something good, something redemptive.
Compare those two, what I think are well acted and well written scenes, with the scene of Jesus and Sasha before she leaves. It's so much of this roundabout stuff that's already been said again. Like, I'm leaving, I have to do this alone. No, don't, you need to tell Maggie. You know that I can't, but you can stay, it's okay. No, I can't stay, and you can't tell Maggie, and I'm leaving for reasons. Like, it was so hollow, and compared to the good writing on the show, was such a waste of time. Yeah,
it does kind of traverse those lines, doesn't it? Of just the same stuff over and over, and then sometimes you hear something that's like, wow, this is a real human moment. This is well done.
Sometimes I wonder if like writers for the show don't write episodes, but they write individual story arcs. Like somebody's in charge of all the Sasha and Rosita stuff.
Sometimes video games are written that way.
Yeah.
I mean, or they could be sitting in a writer's room and seeing what sticks, and that may lead to some inconsistencies.
Yeah, the show has some really good moments, and it has some really good characters and some really compelling plots. But it's not all that way. It's so inconsistent and weird to me sometimes.
It's a little spotty.
So what do we see moving forward for the next episode?
Well, we have a question at the end of the episode, which is, who does Rosita see? Who does she see
Somebody
as she
with
looks
a crossbow.
away?
And we know two people with crossbows.
Or is it that guy who wishes he was Daryl?
I mean, location-wise, it makes more sense if it's Dwight.
Yeah.
Because he's at the sanctuary.
And we know Daryl's, the last time we saw him, he wasn't near there. So.
Nor does he have a lot of reason to go back.
Yeah, not at this point. His last words, I think, were, where are Sasha and Rosita?
Yeah.
He could have gone after them.
He knows where the sanctuary
leads toward
is.
It.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be kind of a stupid move on his part at this point, especially after he just apologized for making another stupid move that got people killed. Okay, so money's on Dwight.
I think it's
probably Dwight.
Do we see the assault on the sanctuary this season? We're building up to it pretty quick.
God, I hope so. I mean, we saw some explosions on the next time on The Walking Dead. We got to see Rick and Michonne back. Got a boat.
I'm curious if this little excursion to the sanctuary accelerates things on Rick's end. We got to go now. I don't care how ready we are or how ready we're not.
I don't know. I mean, my hope is yes. My thought is no.
Yeah,
because
still
things do seem to be
out
drawn out as far as they can possibly go. What this show likes to do is character studies lately, more so than plot momentum. And I don't know if that will change immediately.
Well, we got 2 episodes left this season.
All right, 2 episodes left. What will happen? Who is that guy? We'll figure it out soon, I hope, and hopefully for the best. Thanks for watching.